Hello, friends. It's your boy Jeff. Back from the dead, it seems, in making videos because I know it's been a really long time. I think the last one I made was like the week before Thanksgiving, something like that. So here we are on the other side of the holidays into 2021. Happy New Year, everyone. We made it. And due to the calendar flip, my hope, my crossed finger wish is that my work schedule returns to normal, or at least something resembling normal. And I'll be able to try to make videos again on a more consistent basis. That's my goal. And of course, listening to music on a more consistent basis too. So all that said, this video is to show all of the records that I got last month because my birthday is in December, and of course Christmas, and all told I've got like 21 records here to show. So I wanted to just show them quickly and to publicly thank all the people that sent me these things or gave them to me. So and just as a quick aside, I watched Andrew's Vinyl Tag video from Tales from the Crate, and I've already seen like one or two people's responses. The wheels are turning for me. I'm trying to come up with answers. I have answers to several of those questions. Hoping, because I'm off until Wednesday, hoping to get a Vinyl Tag video up in the next few days. I'm not promising anything, but I'm just telling you what I kind of want to accomplish. I hope I can do it. So the way last year has been for me and the way I kind of dropped off the face of the VC, I'm not taking anything for granted or any chances, and I'm not making any promises, certainly. So with all that said, I've got a bunch of records to show you, so let's get right to it. First, for my birthday, my beautiful wife gifted me with a couple of records. First being Zooropa by U2. Long wanted this album on vinyl. Finally got it. I like this period of U2's output. This and Achtung Baby always kind of got an unusual amount of listens from me, so I'm happy to get that. Most of all, I was very happy to get the Jimi Hendrix Live in Maui box set. Saw this originally, Tim over at High Noon's Vinyl, also known as DJ High Noon, but not anymore, showed this set off, and of course, he's like the number one Hendrix expert in my world, so I know he went nuts for this, and of course I'm a big fan of Jimmy too, so I had to get it. Haven't played any of these records yet, I think with the exception of one, but I'm just showing them to you. Then from there we go to VCLT. Just got this yesterday from Red at Redco Music, so thank you, Red. He sent me Paul Carrick's One Good Reason, his solo album from 1987. I remember it has a couple hits on here. I think One Good Reason itself was a chart hit, and Don't Shed a Tear. I remember those two titles strike my memory, so that's awesome. I like Paul Carrick. And he also sent me Left Overture by Kansas with their classic hit Carry On My Wayward Son. I've never listened to this album all the way through, so I'll be kind of interested in doing that. And he also sent me a CD with like 3 other Kansas albums, so I've got a ton of Kansas music to listen to. So thank you very much, Red. Very nice of you. My friend Emma over at 8 Vinyl Low sent me Buddy Guy and Junior Wells Play the Blues. Now this one I did play. Fantastic album. It's a music on vinyl pressing. The sound is fantastic, and the music is fantastic. I know Buddy and Junior put out a bunch of albums together in the early to mid 70s. This is the first one of theirs that I own. I definitely want to pick up more as time goes by, because you know me, if any of you remember any of my older videos, you know how much I love blues, especially electric Chicago blues. So this is a classic. Thank you very much, Emma. It's awesome. Then, speaking of Tim, he also sent me some Christmas VCLT. First one being DJ Shadows Introducing. This is an album that he's talked about very often. Him and Brad over at H2 Vinyl. I'll be getting to him shortly. According to Tim, this would be a all-time top 10 album for him. And just because of how much they had talked about it, of course, sparked my interest. And I think I probably made an idle comment like, man, I really want to get this album now. You guys have talked about it so much. I want to know what the deal is. So he sent it to me. So this one will probably be the top of the pile when it comes to going through these VCLT spins. So thank you very much for that, Tim. I'm really looking forward to this one. But not only that, he also sent me a Stevie Ray Vaughan concert bootleg, Blues You Can Use, Philadelphia, PA, 1987. I have one or two other of these. Radio stations used to broadcast concerts back in like the mid to late 80s. And that's what this is from. They got pressed onto vinyl. And like I said, I've seen these before, and I have one or two others. But for me, anytime you've got live Stevie Ray, you really can't go wrong, because that's where he shines. I mean, don't get me wrong, the studio albums are great too, but sometimes the fire and passion for the music is lost a little in the studio. But in a live setting, he really cuts loose. So I know this is going to be a fantastic listen. So thank you for that, Tim. That's amazing. And last but not least, he also sent me a copy of Nevermind. My wife also gave me a copy of this for my birthday, so I'm thanking them both at the same time. This is the audiophile version pressed at Palace. So I know this is going to sound amazing. And this is one of those essential albums that I should have in my collection, but I just never got around to it. So I'm glad, very, very glad to add this to my collection. It's a classic. It's Nirvana. So thank you very much, Tim. You are amazing. Then Bill over at the Vinylverse sent me a tone poet, a Blue Note tone poet of Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Roots and Herbs. These tone poet albums are very much like the Music Matters Jazz albums, of which I only have one because they're really bloody expensive, and that one was gifted to me. But these tone poets are very much in that vein. The jacket is very high quality, shiny cardboard, big photos in the gatefold, and audiophile level type of pressing for the record. So just as an aside, I counted all the albums that I either bought or was gifted in 2020, and that came out to 166. I know. And of that, only 6 were jazz albums, including this one. So I know I've said in the past I've wanted to expand my jazz collection. Didn't really happen very much last year, but I'm going to try like hell to do it this year. So, and I like Art Blakey. I have one or two of his other albums in my collection, so I know this is going to be great. So thank you very much for that, Bill. You are the man. Then, my good friend Bobby Z. You guys all know Bobby Z, right? Sent me a message. Probably back in November or early December, that a package was going to be coming my way. And when it got here, it was this enormous box, and it had 7 records in it, all wrapped as one package in gift wrap, which was pretty neat. And he sent me, first of all, Hall & Oates H2O, a very nice copy of the classic 1982 album from Hall & Oates. Album so hot that it's sweating, like I always like to say. And he also sent me their 1990 album, Change of Season, which I'd heard of, but I don't really know any songs off of this one. I think So Close was the single, which I barely remember, but I'll be very interested to listen to this, because by the time this album came out, I'd pretty much lost touch with Hall & Oates, so you can't go wrong with these guys. But not only that, he also sent me this David Bowie album, David Bowie, The Collection. And from what I can tell, it looks like it's all songs from either his first album or his very early work. I think this is pre-Space Oddity, from the tiny bit of research I did on this. So that's cool. I really don't have any Bowie earlier than Space Oddity, so this will be a very interesting listen and a very nice addition to my Bowie collection. And not only that, speaking of Bowie, he also sent this, I'll show you, Historia de la Musica Rock. This is a collection of songs right here. You can see the track list. I'm actually not sure what era this is from, but it's Bowie, so you know I'm going to be excited to listen to this, because I love Bowie. But that wasn't all. He also sent me Best of the Who, Volume 2. And it looks like it's all early 60s era singles, with the exception of, I think, The Seeker. But there's a couple of cuts from Tommy on here, and several singles, like So Sad About Us, Run, 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 which I think was like their second single, wasn't it? I can't remember. But anyway, you can't go wrong with The Who in my mind, of course. Then he also, it just keeps going and going, Who's Last, which is a double album set, a 16-track live double album from 1982, I believe. And it was of The Who's last tour. But of course, we all know it wasn't really The Who's last tour. It was just The Who's last tour with this guy here, Kenny Jones, their drummer. Because, of course, The Who reunited many, many times after this album was released. But I've never really heard live Who with Kenny at the drums, so I'm going to be very interested in playing this. And finally, from the great Mr. Z, he also included Steely Dan's Greatest Hits, a double album. I already have all of Steely Dan's albums, but I did listen to this one because I love Steely Dan, and it has one new track on here that wasn't released on any other album, called Here at the Western World. So that alone makes it worth having. And of course, it's Steely Dan. I mean, this is stuff everyone should have in their collection, right? Don't you think? Maybe, kinda? I don't know. I'm glad I've got it. So, I didn't really know what to send Bobby in return because he was so generous in terms of music or records, because I mean he's got such a huge collection. I wouldn't even know where to begin in an effort to try to surprise him. So I sent him a couple of pizzas from Lou Malnati's here in Chicago, and a couple of giant cookies. He put a video out showing it, so check that out if you're interested in seeing. But yeah, whenever I'm at a loss of what to send as a gift, I send food. So, but thank you, Bobby. That was super generous of you. I can't thank you enough. Then we go back to Brad at H2 Vinyl, who I mentioned earlier, and we also go back to Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This was actually on my wish list, my Amazon wish list. This is, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Buhena's Delight. This is a Blue Note 80 release. So I guess in the hierarchy of Blue Note reissues, this is below the Tone Poets. But still, they still press a great sounding record. This one just doesn't have the fancy gatefold or the shiny cardboard cover. But, and then of course these are a lot cheaper than Tone Poets too. Now they're coming out, Blue Note's coming out with a classic vinyl series, which I think is going to be somewhere in between the Blue Note 80s and the Tone Poets, or they're replacing the Blue Note 80s. They're not doing these. I don't know. But in any case, I was glad to get another Art Blakey album because I like Art Blakey. So thank you, Brad. This is awesome. And if that wasn't enough, Brad also sent me this bad boy. The legendary Son House, Father of Folk Blues. Analog Productions release. So as you can see here, it is a double album, 45 RPM cut, limited to 1,000 copies per stamper, pressed on 180 gram virgin vinyl. QRP does the pressing. They're also the ones that press all of the Jimi Hendrix reissues, like the Maui one that I showed earlier. Fantastic stuff. This is going to be a stunner of an album. So thank you so much, Brad. This is amazing. Super happy to get this one. This had been on my wish list for a long time too. I know maybe a year ago or two ago I wanted to set as one of my goals, you know, going back into more of the acoustic blues from the very early pioneers, of which Son House is one. And I've seen this album, of course, around before, so I added it to my wish list. But Brad was nice enough to get me this super amazing deluxe edition. So I know this is going to be a fantastic listen. So thank you for that, buddy. You are the man. Okay, we're coming to the end here. Then my friend John over at the Digital Gramophone, if you watch his videos, and you should, know that he's a big fan of Spoon. So I was curious about Spoon. I only knew like one of their songs. So I asked for a recommendation out of their catalog, whatever record would be good to start with. So of course he sent me this one here, Ga 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 by Spoon. I don't know which album this is in their catalog. If it's their third one or fourth one or second one, I don't know. But he was kind enough to send this to me, so I will be able to delve a little bit into their music and catalog with this as the starting point. So thank you very much, John. Very much appreciated. I'm not going to make any Spoon jokes, so don't worry. Then I got a couple of more records for Christmas. We're at the end here. Matthew Sweet's Girlfriend. This is one that I've wanted on vinyl for the longest time. And I saw that Emma got this recently in one of her VCLT packages, and I think my wife was watching with me, and I said, "Oh man, I really want that on vinyl too, because that's a great record. I have it on CD." This is my favorite album by Matthew Sweet. So of course, being the type of person she is, she remembered, and she got this for me and stuck it under the tree. So very happy to get this. This is a power pop classic from the early 90s. And another one that I'd been meaning to pick up for the longest time, but never did till now, is Homegrown by Neil Young. This was famously the record that was supposed to be released in 1974 or 5, but instead he pulled it and put out Tonight's the Night instead. So I know several songs from this record went on to be released on different albums of his, but to have them all collected in one place in context with what the original album was supposed to be like, will be a very nice listen, I'm sure. And everybody's pretty much praised this album, so I know it's going to be good. It's Neil Young from the 70s. Come on. I don't think he put out a bad album in the 70s, did he? Not really. At least in the 70s. We're not going to talk about the 80s. So, very happy to get this to add it to my Neil Young collection. So there you go. I don't often do videos where I just show stuff that I got, but because I got so many, as you saw, I decided to make an exception, and it would give me an excuse to come out here to say hello, reintroduce myself a little bit to the VC, and just to tell my future plans. So, with any luck, fingers crossed, there'll be a vinyl tag video in the next couple of days. Because I love doing those vinyl tag videos anyway. I've done them for the last couple of years now. So, I'm going to make a special effort to get that done. And beyond that, we're going to hope for the best. So, until next time, thanks for watching. It's your boy Jeff. Peace. And I'll see you soon.